I don't know, most likely a little different. Back to the broader picture, back to the money, and back to XRP going over $8,000. Hey guys, check this out. Because billions, even trillions, are posted on the XRP ledger as the official government of the United States. The president, Donald Trump, signs a bill that opens up trillions of dollars in the XRP ledger. That's how this bill really is. It says that it's unlocking billions of dollars in the economy and American cryptocurrencies. XSP is the #1 American cryptocurrency and is in charge of the Federal Reserve PIM infrastructure. For instance, Eric Trump went on the record just 48 hours ago and said that he has a very close relationship with the founder of XRP. He also mentioned that he knows Brad Garlinghouse's Ripple XRP. The Federal Reserve just got a new bill to upgrade its payment system. This means that they will probably change and update their payment systems to use XRP, which is the most popular cryptocurrency in the US. The President of the United States of America also said that only international cryptocurrencies or American cryptocurrencies will have a 0% capital gains tax or any other kind of tax. He even named XRP, which is a huge deal in and of itself. But all of this is going to happen when something much bigger is about to happen. Something wild is about to happen. People are talking about the unlocking of $654.39 trillion, which is expected to have a big impact on the XRP market and ledger, moving the price of XRP by hundreds or even thousands of dollars. For one currency, it may even go up by over $60,000. And yes, this cryptocurrency is really on the XRP ledger. But let's really go into this. And it all starts with a huge organization called Rayleigh, which we've talked about on this channel. Some people think these folks are working with Ripple. They are quite big, and they just said that people may now buy million-dollar mansions in the US, Canada, and all of North America on the XRP ledger. Think about how ridiculous it would be to unlock more than $2 billion worth of real estate and more than 10,000 properties in more than 50 places throughout the world, or just in North America. And they are using the XRP ledger. And now we get to the real token, which is huge because it's on the XRP ledger and will make a lot of people rich. That's just what I think, but I'm really positive about it. It is number 12 on the list and rising. And this is a big deal. This is a major deal, I mean. In the last 24 hours, it has gone up by 10%. Guys, check out the charts. A huge breakout is about to happen. One that would send the price to new all-time highs. Because of all the huge demand coming in and the very low supply, some folks think that we're probably going to go over $50 in the next 12 to 24 hours. But the real figures we're looking at are over $65,000. At least 15 countries have formally said that they wish to use the XRP ledger to develop a digital currency for their central banks. This includes the Digital Euro Association, which worked with Ripple in 2022, and now revealed that they will be creating the digital euro directly on the XRP ledger with their best friend, the BRICS nations. Yes, central banks in BRICS countries like Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa are looking into using XRPL for central bank digital currencies and for cross-border payment settlements and escrow. The idea is to move away from the present SWIFT system, which is owned by the United States, and toward a more digitalized and decentralized system that any country may control on its own. In short, XRP is about to take over the world's reserve currencies. It's about to make it easier to make payments over the world. And it's about to become widely used, which is why many analysts think XRP will reach more than $8,000 by October 31st, when all of this is supposed to start happening. In fact, some analysts have even forecast that XRP will be worth $35,000. For example, the managing director of Ville Capital, a big venture capital firm, said that XRP could be worth between $10,000 and $35,000. He also said that XRP could become the world's bridge currency, and that everything is happening right now as CBDC XRP integration into the global central banking system has officially begun to be revealed. A huge, huge news that wrecked the internet. So you need to hear it for yourself before we get into more details. It could be fixed in a number of ways, but it could also be fixed by legislation coming in on top of it. We know it's coming soon, right? So when I say imminent, I mean that I would be surprised if we're still involved in the SEC lawsuit in 3 months. I think that the way things are going around the world, we will need a solution like XRP for liquidity purposes sooner rather than later. So the question is, okay, we've magically fixed it. Where does the price go? It's simple to guess that it's a double-digit figure. So, I think it goes up to $10 right away and maybe even $20. The wild card for me is that there is a deal that can be made between the central banks and governments to make XRP the world's bridge currency. This would be a neutral asset that central banks could trade to move one type of fiat to another. If that's what happens, it's back to what we were talking about before. It has to cover almost all of the money. I think this is the range that XRP would agree to settle on. So this would happen right now at a price of $10,000 to $35,000 each coin. And our lives will be the same or maybe not, which is barely 1% of the entire $650 trillion that will go into the XRP ledger through real tokens. Like, the facts are plain. Check this out. This is XRP Queen, a huge analyst with more than 100,000 followers, I guess. She believes that even if only 1% of the $650 trillion global market enters into real token on the XRP ledger, it went from 2 cents to 64,500. And that's all because there isn't much of it. We're talking based on the fact that there are 22 million. That's not much. Think about it this way, guys. If $100,000 worth of transactions happen every day, the price of the token will go up to hundreds of dollars right away. $700, $800 from 2 cents. There just isn't enough genuine token to be able to meet the demand. So, of course, the price will have to go over the roof because of this. And the daily trading volume is only $100,000. It sounds insane, but I'm not a financial expert. It doesn't have money in it, always looking into things. But the charts and everything else indicate so. If you put $10,000 into a real token right now, the price would go up to $5 or $10 in a matter of minutes. Again, it's crazy, but that's because there isn't much of it. This project is pretty small. It's still extremely early. I guess they started 2 or 3 months ago, but it's grown a lot. I mean, 2 or 3 months ago, these guys had 3,000 wallets, which is crazy, and they're not on any centralized exchange. There isn't a big marketing push. Think about how this will be when it is listed on centralized exchanges. People will notice it. The price is going to go through the roof, and you're going to see a lot of people buy it and use it. You might think I'm insane, but we've seen this happen before when Genuine Token initially came out. This monster is only about 2 months old, so we've seen it happen in real life. It went from 1/100 of a penny to 3 cents, which is crazy. It's quite bullish, and people made hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars. So all you have to do is look at the charts, the statistics, and the past to see that this is one of the best initiatives that will make people rich fast. And once more, it all comes back to usefulness, right? Usefulness, real world assets, and building on the XRP ledger. An actual token checks every box. But it goes even further than that since it has a very low supply and a huge demand. It also solves a real problem worth trillions of dollars that everyone in the world will use. So guys, check this out. This is the scorecard for the real token, and it got one of the best marks. In fact, the highest scores with XRP, XLM, and XDC, which are all valued billions of dollars on the market, there are actually hundreds of billions of dollars in market cap. This actual token got a perfect score of 10. That doesn't include 100% KYC, and it has over 3,473 wallets, which is crazy because it's growing every day. When you look at it, you see that it's backed by a huge institution that actually uses the real token. You can check them out at pify.com, and they make it clear that they do use the real token. They say you can earn rewards with every purchase, and they show you the real token. You can click find out more or buy now again. This is quite bullish because the real institution employs real checking in its infrastructure and system. And once more, what we said in this video is true. This is another example of it. They really announced that they've unlocked more than 50 real sites on the XRP ledger where you can now buy real estate. Once again, you may buy homes in more than 50 locations in North America, and more than 10,000 properties worth more than $2 billion in residential and commercial real estate. You can do this with the real token, which is a cryptocurrency based on the XRP system. Look at the whole list of properties. You can see them right here. But again, this is very good news. Getting into actual tokens very early will make a lot of money. And it's the same thing that happened with Bitcoin. People bought Bitcoin for $1 and it went up to $120,000. People bought XRP for less than a dime and it shot up to $2.50 and $2.38. But the same chances here, just on a bigger scale. We're talking about you coming in, to real when it is actually, this is like the cheapest it's ever going to get. Getting in at these very low prices, like 2 cents, and then possibly going up to $65,000. And again, this is absolutely possible and makes sense because there isn't a lot of supply yet.